hopefully. All right, so I've just got one rod out so far. It's got this bread setup on it. It's kind of a strange thing I found at JSY and I decided to try. You'll notice this is a running pattern with me. I haven't set up the bigger rod yet. Actually, let me just check this one. So just to explain this thing. Yeah, it's got a hook. It's got a weight. I don't even know why it has a weight. It seems like it shouldn't have a weight. That's probably for casting. And then a float. But actually, I think the float should be closer to weight than it. Weight seems to defeat the purpose. Yeah, so look at the package. Maybe I need to put a lot of bread on there to help with buoyancy? I'm not sure yet. At least we got a snack for the fish. I'm guessing not quite enough to drag it out. Not quite enough to keep it in. That's frustrating. Piece of bread up there. Fish on, fish on, fish on. Oh, it's a bass. Look at that. All right, first fish of the day, and it's a bass. Not a carp. You, sir, are not our target species. Still cool. Not a very impressive bass. Still. In this pond, we don't have to kill the bass, so I'm just going to put him back. So he can continue being in here. I don't have to kill him in here. All right. Chat. There's actually nobody in chat, so I don't know why I'm saying that. All right. Bass number one. I wish I could chat in my own chat. If I had a mod in here, I could ask him to put a pin. We'll put a running count. All right. There's one fish. All right, let's get at the big rod. Big rod today is actually my ocean fishing rod. So the first time I took it out, I didn't have a ton of time, so I just put some size 6, which is what I use for carp fishing here. Size 6 is about 24 5 test US, I think. Something near there. Something like that. Where now I actually have like real ocean line. But like I don't use braid. The only time I've used braid is when somebody else has handed me a rod that already has braid on it. So this was my first time putting braid on a rod and then tying an FG knot to then put the mono to the braid. I'm not sure how much braid I actually have on this thing. It's got about 7 meters of mono. Oop. So I'm actually gonna rig this up, try absolutely flinging it out there and trying to catch a carp on it. And using a different lure, because it basically translates to a carp bell. You know, I don't understand why the mono always tries to like self-strip off. Yeah, it just pops all off. I think it almost needs to be under tension. Now I'm wishing I only put 5 meters. Maybe I have too much line on there. Nah, I might have overfilled it. That's annoying. We'll find out. I mean, the mono on here is size 10. It was basically a cheap shock leader I found. I'm already not liking it. I think I put too much braid on. This is part of it. Not sure. I'm actually kind of glad I'm testing it here first, because if something goes catastrophically wrong, bend it up, take it home, try again. I kind of wish I knew of like a regulation size soccer pitch that wasn't used, because I could just run down the pitch with the line and measure it. It's also one of those things, you know, a package of the braid comes in 300 meters, and the 4 is kind of smaller than the reel is rated for, so it doesn't really have a number. I have no clue how many meters are on here. Let's take a look at what we got. Of course, the directions first, and then understand how it works. Yeah, let's just now. figure if the ocean set up little carp, then I definitely tied some knots with them, which I wouldn't put it past me. But I had to learn new knots to put it together. Okay, next goes on the weight. I bet that price going way out. Let's see. We have our sliding weight. This thing, which is what I wanted to try. A carp bell. You actually put the pack bait on the bell after the weight. The weight slides along, up to the hook set. At least in theory. Practice sometimes becomes something to get snagged. We're going to try a pre-made pack bait. So you put pack bait around the hooks and the bell, so that way when the carp feed on it, they hoover up the hooks. Yeah, that's basically carp bait. Think about it, it must kind of not be much fun to not have a stomach like a carp. You have to be constantly eating. You know, I'm already hungry enough. Of course, with this many hooks, there's almost always going to be tangles. Probably the way to do this is to put a layer of on first, and then add in the hooks. Just my guess. Yep, you're right. Layer pack bait first. Hooks. Put the bait over. It's an interesting design. basically by the end, like this, the hooks inside the pack bait around the bell. And they say to put a worm on the long hook, I guess just to offer them more eating options. Anyways, hopefully I tied my knots correctly and this doesn't go flying off when we cast it the first time. That would be, I don't know, I'm almost gonna laugh. I mean, I'll be glad I didn't take it to the ocean first and try. Let's see what type of mess we can make. Let's try flinging this. right. So now we got out there, and now we just have to wait. Hi, Grant. Yeah, actually, I caught a bass pretty early in the stream. I'm not fishing for bass. It took the one of the carp baits. It was not a very big bass. I just showed it off real quick and then put it back in. So this body of water here is not one you have to kill the bass that you catch. And so it's actually kind of popular for bass fishing. Generally, the waters they let bass stay in are like this, very self-contained. This is actually a irrigation pond. So, yeah, actually, let me give you a quick tour. I got things set up. So, they have, here's the spillway, that's what I'm fishing by. But over there is actually the control gate. So they purposefully release water down into these fields down here. So it's actually important for irrigation because rice requires a lot of water to produce. What is in here? So there are bass, bluegill, and carp. So I'm fishing for carp. Those guys over there are fishing for bass. Yeah, so you can see they're actually releasing water right now to water these fields. Oh, that's bright. This is why I like sitting in the sun. I also, it's hereditary. I have a problem with my eyes, and I got it from my mother, where we can't basically handle very much light. So in a lot of videos, I'm wearing polarized lenses, even though you would like, you probably don't need them, and it's just to avoid eye pain. If I get exposed, if my eyes get exposed directly to sunlight for very long, I start to suffer eye pains. So the video where I was fishing for cherry trout, actually my sunglasses got lost on the trip. The bag broke and sunglasses spilled out onto the road. My wife afterwards, I was telling her that, and she's like, how much do your eyes hurt? I'm like, I feel like there's sand in my eyes. It's kind of unpleasant. Yeah, I know. So it looks weird where it's like, oh, it's not that bright a day. Like if I'm here in the shade, it's fine. Although I probably would not be fine if I spent all day even in the shade without them because of the light off the water. But yeah, my eyes get kind of scratchy and itchy. I don't know if there's a technical name for it. There's nothing, as far as I know, that you can do about it. You just got to be conscious about keeping out of direct sun. All right, cool. See you when you get back. Nobody's in here, so this will be the time I catch a fish. Oh, good. Nobody saw me nearly fall in the water. Isn't there a way to add highlights? I think I just add a highlight so I can go back later and find nearly falling in the water. All right, bread's not seeming to work. Maybe I should switch to worms. So the idea with that, this one, right? Focus. That won't focus. The idea with this one is that it like floats like bread, and if you can either set it to be like near the surface or deeper down. But like I threw some bread in there just to gauge curiosity. That bread's still there. I didn't catch the bass though. You know what? I'm gonna switch that thing to a worm. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. No luck with the carp so far. I saw a carp swim pretty close to shore when I was setting up. Now they're nowhere to be found. Lots of little bass. All right, let's switch to carp. At least we have a snack. Oh, I have some brush on it. So I feel like this setup with the bread. I feel like this setup with the bread near to the surface is going to work better, like fishing for carp and canal. Actually, you know what? It's the worms. Let's try corn. I got corn in here, I'm pretty sure. There it is. Let's try some corn. Ooh, this corn is rancid. They're probably going to love it. No, I'm not bringing it home. Ooh, that's all mushy. I'm not sure it's going to stay on the hook. This is the, oh, smells, reeks. They're going to love this stuff. This is the very definition of old corn. Ugh. Even I find it disgusting. That's saying something. The corn is just so half-baked. It won't stay on the hook by the looks of it. All right, off the worms. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna grab some coconut water. in my bag, which is right here, so why am I actually going in? All right, 1 hour carp fishing, and we've got one bass. Mm. Mm. You notice how, like, the fish are always in the part of the pond. It's hard to cast to or hard to get to. We're under a tree like that guy. No. Actually, might. Well, I came to test out the two new carp rigs I got, so chasing bass around the pond is not really why I'm here. Even though so far the only thing I've caught is a bass. I'm gonna try to side arm it off the overflow. All right, let's reel the big rod in. See if there's anything interesting. the thing. I'm not so convinced. I'm trying this type of this setup out. I'm not so convinced that it's going to actually reliably hook up a carp. Like, I feel like they're going to suck in that hook and just spit it right back out. But it is similar. It has similarities to the it has similarities to a setup that's used a lot for Funa here. I'm not sure this is any more effective than just a plain old hair rig. Oh, so I don't know if we're in the chat. Just talking to myself. Anyways, there is a what do they call it here in Japan? Golden weed. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put a layer first and then put the next one. I'm gonna try smaller. But my daughter still has school and my wife has work. So I'm gonna try to do more live streams. Try to do some golden week live streams. I guess the idea of this is it gives lots of chances. I'm not quite sure. I also wonder if maybe this is a leftover idea before, people really figured out hair rigs, modified hair rigs. Still sold because, there's lots of people say, it's good enough for my day. It's really not good enough for me. Some people are more resistant to change. I wonder if that's worse. And conceptually, I get the idea. Maybe lots of hooks with greater chance. Also, it's one of those cases. I know there's carp in here. I don't know if there's carp in here. So, for all I know, it could have been just picking up and eating the bait. Then anything will eat a worm, pretty much. A worm? Oh, there's one. I'm getting low on worms too. All right, let's send it. I wonder if this is more made for Funa than koi. I don't know if there's Funa in here. All the pack bait went flying. Uh, but it ended up a mess. Just nearly put it into the tree. Oh, the worm's still there at least. Everything else went flying. Actually, now I'm wondering if it goes flying when I cast it overall. Maybe only the worm is sitting up there. Okay, we'll do the same thing as last time. That seemed like a good idea. Pack bait. I'm not super accurate with really all the rods. I think some of it is minor mistakes to amplify the length. And if you watch my channel enough, you know that casting and knots and catching actually nothing is my specialty. I'm not really good at anything. I have fun. Me, but I've actually had people that do. I've had a colleague who also does area trout fishing. He's like, yeah, you're actually pretty good at that. But I think that's that I do it more, have more specialized trout equipment, do more, goes with the sun, rents a rod, catches 2 or 3 fish. He also mostly minnows when he's trout area fishing. He mostly uses minnow lures, which I have success with them, but I feel like there's a steeper learning. Like I feel like you can, with their spoons and other setups, you can kind of take out, and especially if you're new, don't do it much, have success with. I feel like minnows you can be really successful with, like trout area fishing, but you really need to practice. You really need experience. At least that's my fishing. But yeah, minnowing, you need. There's a bit steeper learning curve with minnowing, I feel. But if you're good, there's this guy I watch on YouTube sometimes. Most of the shorts, he's actually like a competitive guy, like competition. Really good. Mostly does minnowing. Maybe 100% minnowing. At least that's what he always shows on YouTube, is minnowing. Guy absolutely kills it. Very tough. All right, so I did get a chance to watch it as it flew out there, and at least when it hit the water, the pack bait was still in there. I actually wonder if you lose the pack bait on retrieval. So one of the other things I was thinking about doing today was going out and going trout area fishing, because we're going camping, and I was like, oh, we need to bring food to meat to barbecue. I was like, oh, why don't I go trout area fishing? We'll catch a bunch of trout and we'll eat trout. And she's like, okay, first off, my wife hates trout. Like, out of all the fish we've eaten, it is the fish she hates. Maybe some of it is because I don't particularly care for fried trout. Maybe I should tell her, oh, just fry it. It'll be fine. Maybe she'd like it more then. My wife is one of those people that, how do you like fish? Fried, fried, fried. Maybe if I had a fry, it would taste better. But she's like, oh, I don't think anyone's going to eat it other than you. Which is kind of funny because I tell people, oh, my wife hates trout. Most people look at me like crazy. They're like, your wife is crazy. Which actually, I think it's kind of crazy. Just catch a punch. That's the thing that bread lure is so light, it's really hard to cast. I feel like they do better in canals where casting distance doesn't really matter as much, because out here it's just, you can't cast far enough to get it out where the fish are. I could just sneak it under that tree and dropping it in there. Bunch of little fish right there. There's a half-decent carp patrolling. That's an impressive cast. Oop, oop. Didn't manage to hook into him. caught a snake. There's some small bass today. All over the carp. They seem to be patrolling along the shore. Two people seem to be bass fishing. Kind of tempted to try to drop that worm. The bird bait over by under the tree there. Well, I'm gonna pull the bass and everything. Yeah, why not? Nothing's happening in the carp front. Like borderline, I'm not sure if I want the sunglasses or not. Let's go for a little trip. As soon as I get over there, it's a big one. It's a big thing with the big one. Whoa, spring water. I just had it a little corner for some reason. I think as far as like carp and stuff, this is gonna work better in the canal. Just do not have much casting distance. It's so light. Maybe if I was using like a really light rod, but I'm not, you know. Well, it's made for carp. Shocking. The issue over here is going to be, where do I put the camera? Let's try literally just by the tree. Yeah. Don't kick my camera over. I'm not going in the water. If I wasn't doing it sideways, I could just put it on one of the trees. Put the camera to the side. Okay. No, I had one bite, but I didn't end up connecting it, so it's still just that one bass from earlier in the stream. I think it was something pretty small that hit it. I'm just kind of goofing around. There's been quite a bit of activity under this tree, so I'm like, okay, let's try something new. That's wisteria. Ah, too far. Got it hooked. That kind of. So, giving this a try. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's a bluegill. Oh, I didn't bring my tournament code for Sunfish King's Panfish tournament. Not that I'd really be competitive. Lots of people caught bluegills, and that's the only sunfish species in Japan. They're not even supposed to be here. They were introduced. Oh, you really swallowed that. Oh, here we go. Say hello. Bye bye. In you go. That was actually pretty fast. This is actually where I should have gone for the that live stream when I was trying to catch bluegills. Should come here. It's a little further than the place in Ibaraki, but out right in the middle of the sun is kind of nice too. Ah, lost him. There's no barb on this hook, so I can lose them pretty easily too. Like that first bass I caught in the morning, I was a little surprised. They're kind of like right under that big branch. That's where I've been catching the bluegills. Or hooking them. I've caught one, hooked into two. Hooked into one and lost one. Something won. We'll only spend another few minutes. Gotta go check the big rod with the pack bait. So yeah, that's one bass, one bluegill, but we're fishing for carp. You know, back over to the main spot. See if we lost all our pack bait. Section. Tower seems a better place to put it. See what's going on. Straight out there. You know what? I just thought about it. I actually think there's some fish tournament photos in my bag. Oh no, it's in my other bag. All right, so we're up to 1 bass and 1 bluegill. This little sideshow. However, it is time to check the carp rods again. 10 more minutes. Anything to put. What can we do? Try not to drop the phone in the water. This is what I should start with. Put it around the tree. Nah, not that great. We might have scared everything out of here anyways. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna take it. Hopefully it didn't just steal my whole one. Yep, I'm still there. Now it's time to go check on that larger rod. I'm going to take that and pack up and move the shed. Alright, I'm going to fly for a moment here. So it's sometimes a pain. Mostly stiffness. One second. I'm trying not to send my phone into the drink. I've already lost one phone actually in this pond. My phone before this, I was filming, and I hit myself with my own treble hook, dropped my phone, and it slid off that bank over there into the water. It was like January, February. I dived in after it, but I wasn't able to recover it. So I ended up getting wet and cold, lost my phone. But you know what? I was already wet and cold, so I kept fishing until I kind of started to get a little hypothermic. And then I bicycled home. It was not a very pleasant bike ride home, to be totally honest. All right, that big rod looks undisturbed. I'm not sure about that old Carp bell lure. Not loving it. I guess the idea just doesn't. Well, I get the idea. I don't know if it really works in practice, though. Come on. And you go, camera chan. All right, I'm going to toss this out, pull back in the big reel rod, see what's going on. Nothing. I'm not surprised there's nothing, though. I almost don't expect anything at this point. All right. Let's take it. I'm wondering if the pack bait just kind of dissolving off because the worm is unbothered. The worm's still here. It's fine. I'll keep using the pack bait we have. Now, I wonder if there's a festival. Midnight breakfast is going to be open later. part of me wants to try putting this directly with the line and seeing what happens. So far I'm not impressed with the carp bell. I'm gonna be totally honest. Some of it is that I feel like it's gonna be kind of like just putting pack bait on a hook. They're most likely gonna suck the pack bait off and then spit out the hook. I do wonder if it might actually work better on like a fixed line, like I do at the Nishidai pond sometimes. But we'll toss it out there, see what happens. Little bass the worm. That's about it. I make a highlight reel out of this trick. That's going on there. There's a little bass right there. A little bass bites the bait as I'm saying it. Yeah, it looks fishy. Yeah, there's the. It was like the bass was only about like it was absolutely a tiny bass, like this big. And I'm looking at it, just swimming along. I'm like, oh, there's a little bass right there. Then it just grabs the worm. I think its mouth wasn't even big enough to fit the hook inside. It was tiny. Yeah, I'm thinking that carp bell is gonna go on fixed line. I'm gonna try to do a live stream there sometime this week, and that way it's just going for the ocean fishing. My wife's friends were like, oh. got the worm. I think it might have been the tiny bass again. But yeah, so it's a holiday in Japan this week, so I don't have any work this coming week. My wife's only got Friday and next Monday off. So it's called Golden Week in Japan. It's not, because it's based on the old calendar, it's not fixed. And so a lot of people are complaining that this year is, as far as holidays and days off, a lot of them fall on Saturdays, so they don't get anything. My wife's one of those people. So, you know, she has Friday off, next Monday off. That's it. My daughter has Monday, Friday, and next Monday off. So, you know, not a ton of time off. And so one of the things I was thinking about originally doing today was I was either going to go trout fishing, but my wife she hates trout. That's like her least favorite fish to eat. So if I catch them, it's only me and my daughter that'll eat them. The other thing I was thinking is like, oh, we'll go to Ori and go fishing in the ocean. And then I was like, instead we're like, okay, I'm going to go Thursday after my wife gets back from work. And then my wife was talking to her friends last night, and they're like, she's like, oh yeah, Dylan's going to go on Thursday, go fish. And quite strict about it. Right, this is an area where lots of people are swimming, and you'll lose your license, right, basically. So I didn't go fishing, whatever. But I'm kind of like, oh boy. So Jen's like, no, you don't have to go fishing. I'm like, well, even if I don't fish there, it's not really a fishing trip. It's a camping trip with some lines in the water. Super. But my other idea was, we go camping. We got to buy a bunch of like stuff to grill. And I suggested, well, why don't I go catch a bunch of trout? Yeah, no problem, no problem. Of course, my wife hates trout. She's like, nobody's going to eat it but you and our daughter. Don't worry, I'll yell very loud if I catch a fish. There's that little bass again. You probably can't see on camera. He's just swimming along, like do. And I think he's just making a loop along the whole thing. Yeah, he's even smaller than the bass I caught earlier. Oh, all right, we're back. I don't know what happened. That was weird. Whatever it was. Just like randomly lost connection. I shouldn't be out of Somebody else is coming to join us. I might know this guy. Well, if he is who I think he is, I hope he stays on the other side. That sounds horrible. I shouldn't say that on a live stream. It's just wrong. Now that I said it, I'm just like, I shouldn't say that. Literally the cheapest rod and reel I could find at one point. Absolutely disgusting. Okay, good news. Isn't who I was afraid it was. I wouldn't say I have beef with this guy. I guess we would have tuna or trout. I mean, if he was a YouTuber and then we had tuna with each other, I guess it would be funny. But it's not. Yeah, there's how to drive up the engagement. Fortunately, one of my former coworkers is actually a professional YouTuber. Not professional, it's not his full-time job, but like pretty serious. Anyways, where was I going with the story? Yes, sorry. One of my friends, actually former coworkers, he's like in his niche. I guess he's a pretty big deal YouTuber, but I don't know if there's really anybody in his niche that is rich. Let's put it that way. There probably is. I don't know enough about his niche to really say, but like if you search those keywords, like particularly, I don't really want to like dox him, but if you search his keywords, he's like, oh, most of his videos are the top hits. The problem is that they're not like super searched for things. I don't know. He told me one time, he makes maybe $200-300 US dollars a month in search, but most of the money actually comes from the products because he reviews, niche products, I guess is the way I'm going to put him. And I guess most of his money comes from that. which I guess makes sense. Problem is like it's a niche product, but it's not like an expensive niche product. So it's kind of the worst of both worlds, I guess, maybe, where it's niche, not a lot of people are probably searching for it. I mean, he's got a few videos with 1 million views. But it's not something, you know, I'll put it this way. The line on the fishing line on that big rod right there costs more than the product. So, you know, if you're going to get rich selling that at whatever the commissions for like Amazon Prime or whatever it is, what, 2%, 1%, you need to sell in bulk. And the problem is you're not going to get people to buy in bulk because they don't buy enough. I guess you could, like, I guess if you're someone like you could probably get a white label version of the product made in like China, sell it. Yeah. All right. Now we're just going to be patient. YouTube tuna. Oh, geez, they did a lot of cutting over there. I'm the only recommend. So right there actually used to be like 2 or 3 trees. It was all like a cluster of trees in there, and now they've cut it out. So it used to be kind of like trees all the way there. I wonder if they cut it out because it was the roots were affecting the flow system. Because that's there's a gate through there that's underwater. That's how they get the water out to feed the rice fields. I cannot talk today. I also think part of the reason I didn't go to the area fishing pond and go trout fishing is I'm tired. I go to bed early this way. There's a pottery festival that's going on, actually not very far away from here. My friend's cafe reopened. They had to move, so I should actually go in and visit. Hey, hi, get a coffee, get a cookie. That's actually there's worm guts on my water bottle. I've just not been able to retain water recently. Like I just keep losing it so quickly. So like this live stream's 2 hours long. I've already drank a liter of water. I'm already really thirsty. What do you say? Do we go harass the bluegills? Yeah. Carp aren't hitting the carp rod. Nobody's in chat. Let's go on an adventure. You know, I should put. Let's say I should put a bell on the. Yeah, carp bell lure. I think I'm going to try it on a fixed line next. Might not be any good on that either, but let's give it a try. Okay. Let's go harass some little fishies. right. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the internet connection. Wise. Yeah, we're nearing the 2-hour mark. I usually only stream for 2 hours at a time. I don't marathon stream very often. I'd like to do an overnight and Orion marathon stream though. I think that'd be kind of fun. We scare them all out from here. Yeah, we're gonna retry this again. Canal fishing for carp. I think that's where it's gonna shine. Because the carp, sometimes you'll get them come up close to shore here, but they're usually deeper in. And so you can't really get this rig out there far enough to be effective. There we go, fish on, fish on, fish on. Oh, bluegill. Yeah, I really should have brought the tournament code for Sunfish's. Sunfish Kings, Sunfish Fishing Tournament. Oh my god, that's a mouthful. That's not a bad one. Fry them up, make soup. Fish fry. Oh, it's got a bit hard. Oh, that's weird. Hey, give me back the worm. All right, there we go. One bass, two sun. Ooh, look at that blood. I don't think this guy's gonna make it. All right, you're going home. Yep, he bit it. Yep. You know, I wonder why that happens. Okay. All right, let's see if we can pull another one out of there. This time, not. Challenging spot is getting into it. Soup. Fish soup. Look at that size it actually was. You gotta be kidding me. Really? Put him on the bank because he was bleeding. All of a sudden he starts flopping and gets off and into the water. Never mind. Yes, he thinks he's fine. Or is that him floating over there? Nope. Okay. Never mind. Okay. I'll admit, I'm impressed. That was a lot of blood. And he wasn't moving. He must have. Oh, wait. Is that him? Swam away. Okay. Nice. I don't think he's going to make it. I think he's probably going to die in maybe an hour or two of that injury. Oh, I guess he's fish food. Energy to get himself back up. Get enough energy. Yes. There we go. Okay. Now I know reception's not great here. Struggling with connection issues. Igashira Pond, there's like absolute dead zone. Like you can't even message people when you're in there, which is kind of funny because it's in the middle of this really popular park. There's tons of people there, but a pretty big section of the park is like complete cell phone dead zone. I cannot believe that fish. Oh, jeez. Oh. All right, I'm impressed. We're not gonna fish much longer. Also, the other thing is, next month, there's no one here, but if anybody watches on the rewatch, next month because basically data is getting cheaper in Japan. The amount of data I get is increasing. The price stays basically, instead of lowering prices, what the company did was increase the amount of data you got for each package. So the package that I have is going up by 2 gigabytes. Sorry about that. All right, let's check the big rod. Last time I'm going to set this up. I'm probably only going to stick around for another half an hour. I don't think nobody's watching. Actually, you know what? Nah, I've had enough. I'm not impressed with this thing. I'm going to try it with a direct line. I'm not impressed with it for carp fishing, though. You know what? I didn't bring the stuff to make a hair rig to put together. Oh well. Next time. I'll break that out next time. Now, I'll break this down. Yeah, actually, I could just, because the place I go fix line fishing, they don't allow bars. I think I can just take the file and use those bars pretty quick. It's easy. I would think. Maybe I'm using these wrong. Maybe I should do some internet research, figure out if there's a different way I'm supposed to be using this. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll take one of those. I'll take one of these bells and I'm going to file the barbs off so I can use it at the fixed line pond I go to. Give that a try. This weight is the ocean fishing stuff. Actually, a nice weight. Weight's going on the list of things I do like. The carp bell is going on the list of things I'm questioning. Maybe I'll like it for fixed line, but I have a feeling I'm not. I mean, it won't be the end of the world. We've all bought things we didn't like. So it seems to work fine. No, as soon as it loses tension, it's got problems. There's the thing. You gotta keep a lot of tension on this thing, otherwise it becomes shit. I see. That's okay. Oop. Now Actually, that does make sense. It's a heavy line, big rod. Of course, you'd have to keep lots of tension on it. Let's say maybe I still overloaded it. That's okay. With about 7 meters of mono. I don't know how much braid. I think I put too much braid on. Not the end of the world. If I ever rebraid this thing, I'm going to try specifically to find. Well, actually, that's right. I bought the 300 meters, not thinking. Well, actually, it's kind of good I bought the 300 meters because it gave me braid to practice tying knots with. Not that I couldn't have just used the braid at the end. Yeah, that's what I should have done. 200 meters of braid. Do this again. That's what I'm going to do. 200 meters of braid, and then the leader / shock line. I'm not sure I even love the shock line. Well, I could have gotten a shock line in the same diameter, but it would have been a little more elegant. Yeah, resilient. Stronger, higher test. That's the word I'm looking for. This stuff just wants to be a mess. I think I overspooled. That's probably my problem. I hate tying knots so much, I'm probably just going to deal with it. And then when I finally decide I really need a new shock leader, then I'll go in, cut back maybe 20 meters of braid. I mean, so far it's not a big deal as long as I remember to keep tension on the mono. There we go. So part of me is like, nah, don't go towards Mashiko. It's going to be an absolute mess because of the festival. And the other part of me is like, nah, I want my coffee. I'm going to midnight breakfast. I'm getting my coffee and my cookie. Those two sides of me are at war right now. Oh, thanks, Anyfin. We have not caught a single carp, despite being our target species. So I basically got two interesting carp setups, rigs, that looked interesting to me at the store. One of them, neither of them I like. One of them's too light. So here it's really hard to get it to work because you can't cast far enough to get to where the carp are. The other one, I think is actually going to work better with using a fixed line. So we are going to go chase bluegills for a few minutes, and probably end the stream in half an hour or an hour or so. So. Yeah, so this is the rig that was actually intended for use with bread. So I'm not sure how well it's showing up here. Don't mind the slip bobber. So swivel, go through. It's got 2 slip bobbers on here. It's got a float. So it's meant to be used with bread. I threw some bread in here just to test how they'd react to it. Nothing bit, so I've been throwing worms. Because it's so light, it just does not cast very well on this rod. So I feel like I should be using it more for when I go after carp in the canal. I will say though, that's not showing up. There we go. The packaging is cute. ECD, that's the brand. They've got the cute mascot, see? Oh. Right, even on the floats. Okay, not the best connection. So I'm going to switch to bread because I got a bunch of bread. We're actually going to go onto the wooded side of this pond and chase bluegills. So far today I've caught 1 bass and 2 bluegills. Also hooked into a little bass at one point. It was kind of comical. All right, let's go for a little walkie walk. We're in a place in Japan today called Mashiko. And Mashiko is famous for pottery. Today is the pottery festival. It starts at 9 a.m. So, hi Diana. We're gonna go for a little into the woods. Let's try one of the other little spots here. I did bought a cargo rack actually for my bicycle. So I spent a part of this week putting that together. It's pretty good. It changes the weight as to be expected. So the top part of the rack is actually easy to remove, and that's kind of the heavy part and the wide part. So I plan really only to put it on the bike when I'm going for a trip like this. I'm going to carry lots of gear, but it has made gear a lot easier. No, let's not go there. I tried this spot earlier. Let's go a little deeper. Part of the reason I came out and did this is I wanted to try out the new ocean fishing rod, and I figured if I load it up with, the weights, carp lure, all of that, it was a pretty good test of, if the knots will survive basic casting. Because I don't do much ocean fishing. I don't know a lot about ocean fishing. Bob can probably relate. I don't think you do a lot either. Pennsylvania's landlocked, I think. Here, let's try here. Basically, I've got some braid. Never actually put braid on a reel before. Never used an FG knot before. So I kind of wanted to test it out before I actually took the 2.5-hour trip to the ocean. Because it'd be kind of annoying if I get there and my first cast, it all comes off. So this pond is an irrigation pond, meaning that it's used basically as a water reserve to then flood the rice paddies. So they're actually slowly draining water out of it. They're slowly draining water out of it right now. For agriculture, for the rice paddies. Oh, too fast. Oh, something big. It might have been a bass. So there are bluegill and bass in here, and unlike a lot of bodies of water, you can release them. So a lot of places, if you catch bass or bluegill, you're supposed to kill them. So this is one of those like small number of places where you can release them. So they actually have a decent population in here. Not a huge number. You steal my bait? I didn't bring any more bait. Hey, Stuart. Yeah, it is beautiful here. This is actually probably one of the nicer... Oh, yeah, stole my bait. I gotta go run and grab more bait. This is probably one of the nicer places that I fish. All right, let's get some new bait on here. Ah, shoot. Too far. Oh, yeah, sure. Let me just catch up in chat. Yeah, I know Bob from Anything Possible really well. Connection's a little touch and go here. So for the whole stream, our count is 1 bass, 2 bluegills, 0 carp. I've actually given up on the carp. We're just gonna harass the bluegills now. I thought you were a mod anything. Tells you how much I pay attention. Actually, I kind of wonder if this really light setup for bread might actually work well on fixed lines too. Not that it actually really gets the bread to float as advertised. Let's try and play with it. I'm one of those big on like trying new rigs people. So like I'm the type of person that like, especially if it's on sale, Early for a beer for me. I have tons of beer at home. So I make ginger beer. So I recently made a batch. Maybe I should have stuck with worms. Something hit it. Yeah, possible too. It's also it's JSY. They buy so much stuff. I don't even know what they're doing. I don't think they even know what they're doing half the time. Daiso. If it's in Daiso, then I assume it's not very good. Daiso, you'll get like these you'll get these like spoons, and they're like 110 yen, so like 85 US cents. And hook will break on like the third fish you hook into. Actually, with all the Daiso stuff, that's the problem with them. The hooks snap after a few catches. But now I'm like, I guess I'm a sales rack goblin. I'm like, oh, it's on sale, I'll buy it. Oh, it's on sale, I'll buy it. I have gotten burned on quite a few things, and then I've had amazing success with a few others. Yeah, I have a plain white minnow. Like, how to describe it? It's not top water, but it's like, uh, it's not surface, but it's like very high in the water column. That works great. I've caught tons of fish on it. It was on sale. Catch on, or the brand actually got better reputation than Falcon, which is a brand here in Japan. They got a better reputation, and now it's like 1,500 yen, 1,500, so like 11 US dollars now for one of them. Fisherman first, fish second. I like that. Actually, Falcon runs tournaments sometimes near actually here at a pay pond. It's actually one of those things where I've been kind of like, oh, I'd actually love to do that. But entry's a little pricey. It's one of those things I'm not good. I know I'm not good enough. I'm not going to win money. And one of the rules is you have to use their lures. And actually, I do have a few of their lures. Oh, no. It's kind of like dog food. If the dog doesn't eat the food, you're not going to buy it again. Some of the tournaments in Japan are big money. There's plenty of other Japanese channels out there, or channels in Japan, but I only know of like one other guy that posts a lot in English. But I think he's up in Hokkaido. He's in a totally different part of the country. That's something tiny. That's tiny little fish harassing it. I don't even think you can fit that hook in your mouth, buddy. Yeah, it's me and what's the other guy, English guy's name? Bang Fishing Adventures. But he actually does quite a bit of ocean stuff too. I come like, because you always kind of look up other channels that do something similar to you. I've come across channels that like, they're in the US or the UK and they are on vacation in Japan and they go fishing for a day and make a video about it. Or they go out on a charter boat. And then it's actually weird. If I start searching in Japanese, most of the Japanese fishing YouTubers that are really famous, they're in the south of the country or in Hokkaido. So Kyushu, a lot of them in Kyushu. Oh, I keep getting harassed by tiny things. The one my wife calls the crazy girls in Kyushu. She's the one that like eats snakes and stuff. She's kind of a fishing YouTuber in a way, but like a lot of her stuff is like fishing for turtles and snakes and eating them. Oh, that would be cool. I think I'm the only person that regularly follows you from Japan, so I got that one. Now I wish I'd brought actually dedicated pan fishing stuff. I know Stu's not saying yes, Dad. Hi, tiny fish. You actually think you're going to get that in your mouth? Absolutely tiny fish that's trying to get that bait in his mouth. Not happening. Maybe we'll move spots in a minute. No, because it's a holiday, I'm hopefully going to get more live streaming in the next few days. 154, that's not bad. Thank you, Bob. Have a good night. I know it's kind of weird. I'm still trying to figure out what's the best time to actually live stream. I'm gonna try sometime this month to do an over. Well, for me, it'll be overnight, so I guess it'd be over day for a lot of people in the States. Yep. AGC should stick to the people who made this. They should stick to their ocean fishing stuff. I almost feel like you should take the weight off. I mean, my great grandmother lived to 99, and she had whiskey and soda every lunch. Actually, after my great grandfather died, my great grandmother started drinking even more. I remember some people in the family were like, "Oh no, it's not good for her health." And she was 87 at that point. She didn't go to the doctors anymore. She just, oh, nope, did not care. Lived for another 12 years. Should be switching to worms, I guess. Yeah, you always wonder about that. You see people who eat really healthy and all that, and then they die young, and then other people who are like, "Well, whatever." I really feel genetics has more to do with it than most people give credit. All right, all the panfish in here are tiny. Let's try that side by the tree. Oh, really? Okay. Now, there's a lot of people in my family that lived in their 80s and 90s. It's always weird to think about, though. Like, my wife's family does not have a lot of longevity. Like, pretty much everybody's knocked off in their 60s. That should be weird. Go back to work. Oh, just got my own shirt. I should go back to worms. I was having more luck with that. I'm gonna go grab some worms. Not that I can. Okay. much later. All right, let's change up the bait. Really? Really professional hockey player. That's actually pretty cool. When over the winter, last winter, I went to Canada to visit my family. We went to the Hockey Hall of Fame. That was a lot of fun. And like the thing you do is you know, take a picture next to the Stanley Cup. So me and my daughter Lily, we, took a picture next to the Stanley Cup, of course. And I told my wife that, and she was thinking of like the thermos brand, and she was all disappointed that instead it was this big, sterling sports trophy. Actually, one of my coworkers, my online coworkers, too. And I was like, oh yeah, and here's it's the Stanley Cup. She was super confused because I think it was that time or like a little after I got back that that brand was really popular, like in the news. It's like what was it? It was Yeti at one point. I remember they were super popular. I'm not quite sure why. I think that I think Yeti was supposed to be like really high quality. Nope. Paying attention to chat. Yeah, is it those Stanley Cups? Is it that they're really high quality? Is that why they're special? I don't quite know. It's not a brand here in Japan. And when I lived in the United States, it like wasn't a thing. There we go. Fish on, fish on, fish on, fish on. Oh, fish off. There's no barb on this hook. It's for easy catch and release, so um, that's more likely to happen. Should have just brought my micro rod and stuff. Would have been a more fun stream. Thank you. Yeah, this is I like fishing here because there's a lot more trees and shade. The downside is there's a lot more things you can get yourself wrapped up on. A lot of times the water access around Japan, they cut pretty far back for a variety of reasons. Some of it is just access, being able to go in. They don't here, which is actually really nice. I actually, when I did that walking in the snow live stream, both of them actually, I passed by here. You already have names picked too that you're going to suggest? Oh, there we go. Bluegill. Excuse me, I'm trying to get the hook out of you. Glad you don't have sharp teeth. Let's see, where is it? Oh, wait, which way are you hooked? Oh, way. That's why. Oh, yeah, I'd like to run back. All right, never mind. You got the worm. Here we go. Bluegill. Am I running out of battery? Oh boy, I think I'm running out of battery. All right, in you go. How do I check the battery when I'm on live stream? Oh, okay. I got it. Is that better now? Because I keep asking. Somebody said, oh, I can't hear. And I kept asking, and that's why. All right, I think it might have gotten muted while I was trying to stop it from falling in. And now I'm stuck. This might be the end of the trip right here. Stomp. Like a bullet. Yeah, it's fine. That's savable. I have to re-straighten out the hook, but that's not the end of the world. Lose anything else? How's mine out? Mine out. That's fine. Yeah, that's savable. Sorry about that. I didn't realize I was muted. We had our nearly drinking, nearly lost a second phone to this pond. I might have been able to cover it. Probably would have killed the power pack, though, getting that wet. All right. Okay, that's not how. Zero carp. Yeah, drop your link. Good. Back in business. We got audio. Yes. We've gotten 0 carp, 1 bass, 5 bluegills, and 0 carp. Ooh. And lots of trees and bushes. The more I think about it, I think one of those rigs is really for Funa, which are well, actually, Funa are the ancestor of the goldfish. That's why they basically look like overgrown goldfish that are silver colored. But has not been a day for catching carp. Yeah, let me look at you. Oh, yeah. Let me get on her. Where is she? Let me get on there. I think that should work. I'm having trouble adding mods recently. Right under that tree seems to be a really good spot recently. There's a carp. Hey, Dana, did that work? Maybe. I don't know. It's being weird. No. Why won't it let me add Dana? It says she is. I might have also scared all the dumb fish out of here. Let's try over by the wisteria. So this tree over here on the right side, this is called a wisteria. So wisteria are well known for these like purple flowers. That's what they're famous for. So you can actually make a tea out of their flowers. It's okay. It's not amazing. Not, I wouldn't call wisteria tea amazing. I've had it a few times. It's good enough. So there's a park in a place called Ashikaga, which is actually not that far from us. It's in the same prefecture. And they're famous for their wisteria trees. But they got like a big boost because there was Mayapa? Maybe was its name. English translation was Demon Slayer. I can't remember its Japanese name. I should. It's one of those things where like if I ask a student like, oh, what TV show do you like? And they say its name, then I recognize it. But for some reason I can't recall it right now. But wisteria are like a plot point in there. And so Ashikaga, and particularly Ashikaga Flower Park, got really famous. There were lots of people going there, like dressed up in costumes for the wisteria when the wisteria are in bloom. There's a historically in Japan, there's a lot of that where like some place will get famous for like an anime or a TV show, and it'll become like an attraction. So Orai, for example, for a long time, when you said Orai, if anybody even knew where it was, they were going to think of marlin fishing. Still is a big place for billfish fishing. But then there was an anime set there. Girls in Panza, girls in tanks, basically. The premise is ridiculous, but it got really famous, and so now you go around Orai, and it's like a 50-50 split of if the tourist stuff is like talking about fishing, or if it's talking about this anime that was set at the high school. Hello. It worked? Okay. It's been a little temperamental about those things lately. We might have to move position. We might have scared them all. We might also try again with the exact same rigs, fix a lot of fishing later this week. Oh, there's a carp. Not huge. I think there's a carp hanging out under the wisteria by the looks of it. No, he just passed right by. Didn't even consider it. I've got the drag set kind of tight because if I get a carp on here, I really don't want him to run very much because he's going to just wrap himself around those roots in the tree and then we're going to snap something. I've done that before. It's a frustrating experience. Actually, I'm pretty sure we've all had that experience. Oh, nope. Oh, is that the guy? Oh, no, that's fine. I might have to go. Oh, he's coming through there. I'm gonna have to move my stuff. All right, Jet, I'll be back in a minute. I'm back. Get criticized over my bad parking job. Let's try to catch at least one or two more before we end the stream. Going through my bait box like here, wormy, wormy, wormy. All right. You know what? New pack of worms might be in order. I assume fishing house is open. Oh yeah, so I guess a little context / geography. So right now we're on the north side of an area called Nanai. Sorry. So we're on the north side of Mashiko, basically. Mashiko itself is to the south of us right now, not actually that far. And they have a pottery festival this week. Mashiko is famous for pottery. That's what it's famous for. So you get lots of artists come here, actually from around the world. Mashiko is more open to people that are not part of the pottery tradition. So if you're like a normal person and you decide, hey, I want to be a potter, you probably come to Mashiko, because most pottery towns in Japan, they don't, historically, it's different now, but still, to an extent, they're a little more wary about accepting outsiders, people who are not part of the community. You know, it wasn't like, oh, your father's a potter, your grandfather's a potter, yeah, come be a potter. We're here in Mashiko, it's like, all right, you come, you take classes, you know, they'll pretty much train anybody. So you get a lot of people from around the world and around Japan actually coming here to learn pottery. So Mashiko is a little bit different in some regard for that reason. Well, twice a year they have this week-long pottery festival. It's actually going on now. So the fishing house is the main, I guess you say, fishing store in Mashiko. It's not a chain. It's run by this old woman, really nice old woman, great place. Actually has better prices than a lot of the chain stores like JSY. JSY being the big chain. So the city I live in, Mocha, you probably go to JSY because that's the only fishing store, or that's the big main fishing store in Mocha. There is also Daiso. They do sell cheap lures, rods, reels, stuff like that. That's where you buy a rod and reel that you don't care about losing. You know, 1,000 yen cheapo rod. But yeah, I could get worms at fishing house, I guess. But anyways, it's the pottery festival, so Mashiko's going to be crazy. It's also weird because, or different because, Mashiko has this thing for like older houses that's like part of their tradition of like updating and using older houses in Mashiko. So in a lot of places in Japan, there's like tons of houses for sale. Like the city I live in, there's one there's one on the same street as me. There's one down on the street to the left of me. All these like pretty much abandoned houses. Where here in Mashiko, particularly central Mashiko, there's nothing like that. It's very competitive real estate market, unlike most of Japan. So I think there's a house near me that's for sale for like, I don't know, 30,000 US dollars, I think. 25,000 pounds. You know, particularly if you want a house in a rural area of Japan, it's pretty cheap if you're willing to have an older house. You're going to need to do work on it. It's probably been sitting abandoned for quite a few years, but pretty cheap. And there's some cities that are even pretty much giving them away just to get them off their books because the city's taking them over. Though those usually come with a lot of strings attached about how much work you have to put into them, repair. Those ones might actually require you to have residency of some type or two, if I remember correctly. All right, we might have caught all the dumb ones. We've educated the fish in this spot. All right, Stuart, have a good night. I'm probably only going to run this for a few more minutes. I think the fish here have been educated. I want to go get a coffee. Maybe a tea, a cookie. Maybe worms. I wonder if the school parking lot is. I wonder if my school's parking lot is open. Fish on. There we go, another bluegill. I'm gonna try not to drop this one, so I'll actually show it to the camera. Ow! I cannot keep those things in my hand. Good thing I'm not eating them. I'd be really disappointed with myself. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm gonna end this at the. Well, it'll be 3 hours and 15 minutes of streaming, or the next fish. Whichever one happens first. Yeah, it's getting late for a lot of people. Oh, geez, storms. Oh, like tornadoes? I've never been in a tornado. I don't want to be involved in a tornado. I've been in typhoons, lightning storms, earthquakes. Been a lot of earthquakes. I don't like earthquakes. I was in 2018. I was in the nasty one in Taiwan. I was living in Hualien at the time. Still don't like them. It's also hard to describe. Like, I don't like them, but I don't freak out at them. Although my wife's been in one more nasty earthquake than me, and I think she was quite a bit younger when she had her first really bad earthquake. So I think that affects you mentally differently. But, you know, like the first time I was in a bad earthquake, I was an adult, and you know, you're much easier to process your emotions as an adult. Like, okay, you know, this is what's going on. Well, I think when you're a kid and you're in a bad earthquake, it's, you know, affects you differently. It gets in your head more. Oh, multiple. That sounds really bad. Nebraska. Yeah, I've been to Nebraska. I think if I remember correctly, Nebraska is pretty flat, which makes it conducive to tornadoes. So where I am in Japan, supposedly, not supposedly, we can get tornadoes. It has happened in the past before I lived here. So they do actually have tornado sirens, but there hasn't been a tornado here while I was living here. They had one maybe 10 years ago now, and so they built a siren system and a warning system after that fact, after they had one. Did you Hey, Lua, get. Hey. Pardon me. There we go. Last one. I'm going to call it a day. Everybody, thank you for watching. If you watch on the replay, if you watch on the replay, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in my next adventure. I'm going to go to Midnight Cafe and get some food.